Okay, here we are. We're going live on YouTube. Good afternoon, Michael DiCarlo here. DiCarlosDanger.com, my blog. Currently in the VFW here at Post 9972 in Sierra Vista, Arizona. Steak night tonight. About $12. You can come down and have a wonderful steak and get something to drink, feed your family. Good steak, good meal, salad, taters, and vegetables.
What are you doing hiding in here?
I'm actually live streaming on the internet, trying to advertise, get people come in here and have some steaks. What do you think of that, Shorty? Pretty good? Pretty good idea? All right. Post 9972 here in Sierra Vista, Arizona. Veterans Drive, right outside the gates, or the old gates of Fort Huachuca here in Sierra Vista. I'm looking through my blog here. You're over the target one of the stuff you write, and you end up with approximately over 1,000 spam hits. So I'm glad that my last blog post was good, and that the War on Drugs or War on the Poor post that I made over a year ago, actually it's going to be 2 years old now, it's over 2 years old, is actually still popular amongst the trolls. It's good to see that they have nothing better to do than try to, or to spam up my blog posts, which is great. I do appreciate it, and especially when all the posts used to come from Kansas, but now they come from either China or Russia. And if you want to peg me as a Russian or Chinese spy, well, good job. My name's not Walker, it's DiCarlo. And this is DiCarlosDanger.com, my blog. In the video version, we're down here at the VFW in Sierra Vista, Arizona, on steak night. Come on down, get a steak for about $12. Steak, taters, vegetables, bread, and a salad. All for about $12 here in Sierra Vista at the VFW. Post 9972. I'm not sure what they have over at the American Legion tonight, but I probably should have stopped by there to see what they have in order to give them a shameless plug as well. They're good folks, both sides of the tracks here in Sierra Vista. Well, they pulled up the tracks, but they used to be there. But you get the picture. Hey, I was having a conversation today with a friend of mine about the county budget here in Cochise County, and it just seems to me that a lot of stuff is going on in order to provide people with a job that, not that their job isn't important, but we can't pay for it with the tax base, so we need you to pay for it with your tax dollars through grants of financial privilege, federally funded grants of financial privilege. So remember, every time that grant passes hands, somebody's taking 20% off the top in order to oversee to make sure it's done properly. We got that changed a little bit here in Sierra Vista. We had it down to 5% for our community development block grant funds. I would rather we not take any federal money at all, but if we can get it down to 5% oversight and actually spend the money for what it's worth and what it's actually for, I think we all went out in the end. The sooner that we can sever ourselves from the teat, so to say, of the federal government, the better off we'll all be. Once again, this is Michael DiCarlo, DiCarlosDanger.com, my blog. Thanks for stopping by. I do appreciate it. And if you can share this, get some likes and shares. We're gonna need some subscribers. I'm gonna have to up our subscriber base by quite a bit so I can live stream on my phone, which I'm finding out is so convenient. Let's see. I'm going here to the paper. I'm going to see if I can find what I was looking for before regarding the county budget. Boy, that teacher looks like crap. The Vista transit route changes begin July 1st. I guess that we said that that's just going to happen instead of further discussion. It's funny how when things belong to the Sierra Vista Metropolitan Organization, or SBMPO, things just happen without concurrence, or just merely with the advice of council, not with the concurrence of it. That's the beauty of having the multi-layers of government, so that there is no accountability, and when things go wrong, there's plausible deniability to everyone, which in the military sense I understand, since nobody needs to take the whole blame except for the HMFIC. But here, there is no HMFIC except for the manager, and he's just creating his own little Sim City down here, so to say. But remember to save our VA. If you have any comments or anything, hit me up on Facebook. I'm going to post this over here on the carlosdanger.com blog or the Facebook site, and you can put some comments over there. Let's see. Let me copy this here and put it over there and see what we can do. So we have one viewer. I appreciate that. How are you doing? Hopefully it's not me. Maybe it is. I'm not sure. And the viewer went away. Goodbye. So there was one. Oh, and then again, it might be me as well. Oh, you know what it is? It's my... it is probably the live stream. It might be. I need to stop looking at myself because it's terrible that way. What I do need to do is copy this link. And we need to go ahead and 96, which is not optimal. My video resolution, I have to look at that before we get this going on. Again, this is Michael DiCarlo here at the VFW Post 9972 in Sierra Vista, Arizona, on Veterans Drive. Steak night tonight. About $12 you can have a steak, taters, vegetable, some bread, and a salad. Throw that in with get yourself a drink or something like that as well, so you might be paying $15. Oh, okay, so that's going to be that way right there. It's going to be stuck that way for right now. Okay, no worries. It is what it is. And we'll move on, and we'll try to make it better next time. But what I'd like to talk with you guys about today is the amount of money that your local city's paying to run itself. And the reason being is because I think no matter where we are in this country or in this world, Patriots, that we'll all come to the understanding that all governments run inefficiently, and if we're going to have to be stuck with something that's inefficient, maybe we should make less of it. Currently, or the proposed budget for my town of Sierra Vista is tapped out at $90 million. Now, keep in mind that this county only has about 150,000 people in it. And proportionally, just shy of 50% of it probably live in the town of Sierra Vista. And if you combine with Hereford and Huachuca City and maybe Whetstone areas that are within 15 miles drive of it, you'd probably get close to half the population lives down here. But we're paying $90 million for one town, mind you, in a county of 150,000 people. That just seems excessive to me, no matter how you slice the pie. And when the pie is getting sliced and passed around, and other people are eating your part because they deserve it, or because you're not worthy, or because that's the way it's always been, it doesn't make it correct. So if it's a government of, by, and for the people, we, the people, actually do have a say. And it does work. I'll give you an example. I've been attending council meetings and speaking for going on about 2.5 years, nearly 3. It'll be 3 here. I think my 3-year mark will be in December. I originally went there because a mid-30s-year-old cop, I think he was 35 or 36 years old, was diddling a 14-year-old female. And instead of firing him and prosecuting him right away, he was able to hide behind the badge and the Constitution, which was meant to protect the little girl for 2 years to get a paycheck and work as a dispatcher because of the way things happen to happen out, so to say. And since the system is that way, and there's no interest in changing it because it doesn't benefit the government or the business of government, it was just kind of brushed under the table. The person or the chief of police at that time retired, covered up for it, retired, and now he's an undersheriff for Cochise County and works for our wonderful Sheriff Daniels. He's always on Fox TV saying, build the wall, build the wall. We got all these people here, build the wall. Well, you know, is the border a problem? Yes. Has the border been a problem? Yes. And since those are factual in nature, those are facts. Facts, hard facts. The reason that it hasn't been fixed is that it's bad for business. Business being that of government growth. The only business that grows in this county historically is that of government. And that's one thing I will say. My family's originally from Marion County, West Virginia. And Marion County, West Virginia isn't going to bullshit and lie to you. Their government web pages are actually .coms. Coach, if you can look it up, MarionCountyWestVirginia.com instead of .gov, because government is a business. It's all incorporated, and when you incorporate things, you can create a shell game. You can cover one, can cover for the other, and when we do that, we're providing outlets and coverage for members that are part of that organization in the corporate sense, because corporations don't make mistakes, right? So they say. Well, anyway, let me see if I can get this here. Oh, did we just have a chat? Nope. Okay. How you doing? What do we have here? Oh, thank you very much, Yvonne. I appreciate it. Appreciate the thumbs up and the like on the blog post. Let me see here if I can get this posted via the phone on over there. Maybe that's what I'm watching you on. Let's see if I can watch myself on here. Well, anyway. Hey, if you guys watch any of these First Amendment auditors, that's really interesting. It's some pretty cool stuff. They got some pretty big huevos when you look at it. They're willing to put themselves on the line and take a chance on getting in trouble or going to jail. Because they... Oh, okay, so that's wrong. Okay, it's done. These guys go out there with cameras and sit in front of police departments and other places and record, which is cool, and there's nothing illegal about it. But society's been conditioned since years ago when the world changed to fear. And, oh no, see something, say something. It's all a bunch of crapola. But it just is what it is, good folks. It really is what it is. There's nothing that we can really do about it. Let's see here. Okay, I think I got that. Let's open that up. So we can copy this. And we'll have to copy. And go over here to Facebook. Post it on there. Stick knife. See if we can get some folks on here from Facebook to check it out. And there we go. Bam. All right. going to be back in a few minutes. I got to get a new cup of coffee and see if we can get some folks from out here in the canteen area, see if they're interested in talking about local politics and putting their face out there. A lot of folks they don't like to talk politics, which is fine. I mean, they've been conditioned to be controlled by others through their service to our great nation. Just then again, I'm finding out too, and I don't want to talk down to Army folks or actually anybody, but there's very few of us that have actually been, while in the service of this great nation, have been encouraged to think outside the box in order to accomplish a task. The ability to think independently and outside the box, I guess, is merely a submariner's job, and the rest are just, I don't want to sound bad here, especially with some relatives I had, but the mindset I'm seeing is a lot of mindless, licking order followers around here. Oh, there it is, local news stories. This is what we'll talk about next here in about 2 minutes. We'll come back. It is now 5:54. We're going to come back at about 5:58. So it'll give us 3.5 minutes. And we're going to talk about the nightmare of epic proportions. The county searching for solutions as a $33 million retirement debt looms. Number 33 million. Remember that. See if we can get that shaved down to 32.2 million or something like that. Well, anyway, I'll be back in a few minutes. Michael DiCarlo, DiCarlosDanger.com, and we will be back. Top of the hour. Right before the top of the hour, we're going to talk about, and I'll actually read you the newspaper article. There's a lot of folks out there that were asking for it, so we'll read it and see who wrote it here. See, Mark Levy took the picture, and it looks like it's going to be oh my goodness, it's not even written by. It appears not to be written by a staff member of the press. Just merely, it's going to be another government-approved press release. I'll be back in a few minutes. Take care. All right. Back at you. Back at you here from VFW Post 9972 in Sierra Vista, Arizona. Steak night tonight. $12. Just steak, vegetable, some bread, a salad, and probably even a dessert. They'll actually have more desserts coming out too. So, how is everybody today? We all doing good? You can leave your comments here. I'll try to catch them as they come. We've been on now for about a half an hour. Appreciate y'all's patience and your commitment toward liberty here in America. So, as promised, it's now almost top of the hour, 4:59. For those 420 fans out there, you're approximately 40 minutes late, so you're good to go. So a big headline, after the former Sierra Vista Unified School District teacher is found guilty of sexual misconduct, is this. There's a nightmare of epic proportions. County searching for solutions as $33 million retirement debt looms. Oh, it is. It's by Cher Poirier. You can contact Char Poirier. Contact Char at shar.PORIER@myheraldreview.com for comments. Facing over $33 million of unfunded liability for the public safety personnel and retirement system, Cochise County officials are scratching their heads as they try to pay down the debts. With the state mandating the county come up with a payment planned by July 1st, County Supervisors Peggy Judd and English and Tom Boyer, B-O-R-E-R, discussed with staff in a work session Tuesday how to pay the debt and maintain county services for the 2019-2020 fiscal year. It's pretty funny that they've only given these guys like a couple of weeks to figure this crap out. The county will pay out $2.3 million to PSPRS. County Administrator Ed Gilligan is not on an island, but we kind of are out here. I mean, Bisbee is a sky island. This is too funny. Explained it is not just the sum to be paid causing consternation. It is also the state-imposed expenditure limitation, which does not allow PSPRS payments to retired county deputies to be exempt from the amount the county can spend from the general fund. The state sees this as a debt, not an exemption. Gilligan said, we'll be paying between $2.7 million to $3 million more a year to PSPRS. It becomes unsustainable and will affect county services, absent a large cash infusion. I don't see how we can pay it. PSPRS board members determined how to invest the money, and in past years, these investments did not pay off, resulting in a decline in funds available for retirement payments. Gilligan said, the situation has improved as the board decided to be more conservative in investment strategies. However, that does not help rural communities where the population is relatively stagnant. Without development of new property taxes generated from an influx of new residents or businesses, the county will be hard-pressed to keep up with expenses of the county services, Gilligan said. He said the county must pay for all the deputies who have retired. For some, with the cost of living increases, they are making more in retirement than they did while working. The problem is the fund is more retirees than those paying in. It's not a sustainable system. We cannot property tax our way out of this, Gilligan said. It's impossible to make up lost ground and pay for that fund. It's a nightmare of epic proportions. He expects the county will be forced into making drastic cuts in order to make up some of the millions going into PSPRS every year for the next 30 years. The state could be sued by retirees or local and county governments for inept assumptions on the part of the PSPRS board, he suggested. You made the decisions, you pay for it. Cochise County is not alone in the struggle to fund the PSPRS, he added. Some counties are worse situations than we are. The sheriff's offices of Apache, La Paz, and Coconino are in the same boat. The State County Supervisors Association is lobbying the state legislators to provide some sort of relief for counties. English asked her fellow supervisors to make an effort to actively lobby for some sort of help from the state. It's not just counties that are suffering, it's anyone who has people in PSPRS. The plan of supervisors will be approving in the future meeting meets the state imposed mandate for funding PSPRS. In July every year, the county will pay in full the minimum annual required contribution, or ARC, A-R-C, ARC, as projected by PSPRS for the new fiscal year. During the annual budget development process, the ARC rate shall be determined as 50% or the rate published in the system's annual actuarial. Yeah, it's that insurance thing. Actuarial, report, which is greater. In June of each fiscal year, the county will make a supplemental contribution payment utilizing 100% of the projected current fiscal year savings in the Cochise County Sheriff's Office General Fund budget. We have a massive debt to pay, Gilligan said. But here's the interesting thing, folks, is that I guess it's ignorant of myself to presume this, but what we got here is the problem that I see, and maybe I'm not correct, and honestly, I'm used to not being right all the time, but then again, I'm not used to being wrong all the time either. This is supply and demand. This is simple business. When you have make simple business decisions, you end up with, when you make bad business decisions, a lot of other things fall into place as bad decisions as well. I look at this as more of a supply side problem, the supply side being the tremendous amounts of grants of financial privilege, federally funded grants of financial privilege that this county gets annually, over and over and over again, merely to let the government survive, because the population here is right around, it's not stuck, between 135 and 150,000 people. It's been that way for the last 20 years. The reason I understand this is because I used to be a recruiter for the Navy here in Cochise County. And when you're recruiting folks, you need to know where they live. And the federal government, by the census breakdown, is pretty efficient in breaking down 17 to 27 or 17 to 34-year-old males, or military age males, for the recruitment effort, because the Navy is you had to join the Navy by the time you're 35. So the census data exists already. So the trouble I see is the amount of Operation Stone Garden money and other grants that come in here prop up what Mr. Gilligan says or calls essential services. And honestly, the state is only required for 7 different services here in Cochise County, or in Arizona. I forget exactly what they were, and I didn't bring my constitution to list them. But I did speak about them in a prior city council meeting. And it was the governor addressed these too. So see if I have this here. Oh, you know what? I do talk a lot of. It's not that I talk anti-government. I am critical of all government, because anybody that's not critical of how they're ruled over is nothing more than a good slave. It's not that I'm a bad slave. I just gave up 20 years of my life in the military, so I have to provide myself the opportunity to speak like this if I want to, and not care about whose feelings I hurt, because it's wrong. What's up, man? How are you doing?
All right.
Good. Hey, you know how much your steaks are tonight? Are they like $12?
Yeah, it's like $12.
Right? $12 for steak, salad, steak, tater, salad,
Whole meal.
beans or vegetables, bread, and maybe a dessert. Live stream and trying to advertise.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, you're not.
I thought you were talking to me.
No, I am talking to you, man. I am. So, some podcast studio I got here, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a pretty good deal for $12. So post 9972 in Sierra Vista. Come on down, get a dinner tonight. So the next topic I'd like to talk about, unless somebody here gives me a comment on either YouTube or Facebook on something they'd like to speak about. I'm going to speak about the city of Sierra Vista's balanced spending budget. And I don't know what it's balanced on, but it's balanced. Balanced. So they say it's. You can go back to not this council meeting, but the one in the beginning of June and see it. They budget 3 days. 3 days they budget every year to present the budget. Last year was a day and a half only used, and this year they went through $90 million in one day. In one day. Ooh. See if we get any comments here on Facebook and thanks for the person that put me over the threshold on Facebook for a milestone for liking the page. I appreciate it. If you guys can like or share this, that'd be great. I do need to get some more subscribers in order to live stream from my phone. They raised the subscription level to 1,000 people, 1,000 folks. In the national news, before we go into the city stuff, in the national news, let's talk about Iran. And let me give you some background on how. And it's not that on how my mind is working and how I'm thinking. It's not that I'm against the administration's train of thought or what they're tasking the military to do. It's just that this is a replayed nightmare, kind of. Let me give you an example. My personal example. I was born in 1970. I was raised in northeastern Ohio in a town called Avon on the west side of Cleveland. When I was a child, the Iranian hostage crisis occurred. That was during the Jimmy Carter administration. Hostages were held for 444 days before they were released as President Reagan was getting inaugurated. Different topic. We can talk on either side of that and exchange ideas on why they were released at that time at a later date. I'm just giving the background for me. Also, with the Iranian hostage crisis, there was a gentleman named Terry Anderson. Mr. Anderson was held captive, I believe, in Lebanon during the same time frame as the hostages in Iran, and actually before then. Mr. Anderson was from Lorain, Ohio, which is the name of the county that I grew up in, Lorain County. The county seat is Elyria. Go ahead and enjoy spelling that, or enjoy pronouncing it if you ever get an opportunity to read it. But I was conditioned by the television and by radio and by the printed news at an early age to have a distrust or indeed maybe even a hatred for the Iranian people, which I don't have at this time. But I got to tell you, there was a time in my life that anything that had a towel on its head, I did not like. And that's both biased, that's both being bigoted, and that is being ignorant at the same time. But if you take the time, if you're a warrior and you take the time to know your enemy as you know yourself, you end up learning a bit about them. And hopefully about yourself as well when you actually have to understand what your own capabilities and limitations are when you're attempting to address things that are outside the norm. From the hostage crisis, we end up with the U.S. Vincennes shooting down a commercial airliner over the Mediterranean. After that, you end up with that captain, his vehicle having a faulty bomb placed in it back in San Diego after he's home. Iran goes to war with Iraq. The United States funds the crap out of Iraq because it's pissed off at Iran. And then all those same arms that we funded Iraq ended up killing a bunch of Americans when we invaded Iraq the second time and even the first time. So this country has been not on the radar, but a subject of various things during my lifetime. Howdy, sir. How you doing? You got popcorn back here, too. But as far as this beating of war drums that we have going on now, is it excessive? Oh, yeah. Is it needed? Oh, no. But in order to keep the herd in line and not permit it to think for itself, you got to keep promoting the fear. And the more you promote the fear, the more it's apt to keep in line and just go from side to side and so that it can be control can be maintained over it. But that just is what it is. We'll have to see what we can see how that plays out. I know that our sailors that we have over there are professional individuals and they're great folks. And I hope that God and luck is on their side and they're able to do their jobs and come home safely. Because if they can't come home safely, then I think we're doing ourselves, we may have stepped into another pile of crap that we won't be able to get out of. It's almost like Uncle Sam's putting his pecker into a beehive and can't figure out why it's so swollen that he can't pull it out. Well, that is the Middle East. I mean, the real reason that Christopher Columbus sailed the ocean blue was to find a way to trade with India, or India, the Northwest Passage, the passage, but it was so that you didn't have to deal with the Barbary pirates and the raiders on the trail. It was thought it would be cheaper to sail in the opposite direction than it was to march right toward them. I mean, even Jefferson, if you do a little background in him and the Barbary pirates of old, he experienced the same thing. Almost time for another cup of coffee here at VFW Post 9972, Sierra Vista, Arizona, on steak night, $12. You can get a good steak, a tater, vegetable, piece of bread, and a salad, $12. Remember to save our VA. And when we come back here, it is currently about 17 minutes after 5. We'll be back here in a few minutes. And when we come back, we are going to speak a little bit about the balanced budget of the city of Sierra Vista. I got some questions about the commander of the sea, or the CCOM. CCOM in the desert. As you guys are getting wolves pulled over your eyes. Especially if you're taking into consideration that they're $33 million short on their budget, and they're going to have to cut. They're going to have to cut services. Notice that there's no mention of laying people off. None. We don't want to do that. We don't want to lay people off. We'll just cut services. We won't make people work harder to keep their jobs. We'll just say that there's fewer jobs for them to do. Typical government, folks. Well, anyway, Michael DiCarlo, DiCarlosDanger.com. I'll be back in a few minutes. Going to refill a coffee. And before I do that, I am going to delete 100 spam comments on my blog because I got a funny suspicion that I'm not. Oh, I got a comment, an online writing thing for a 7th grade for my War on Drugs or War on the Poor post here at thecarlosdanger.com. You can look that up. There is a webpage, thecarlosdanger.com. It is a play on words for Anthony Weiner and my last name. The tagline is, no matter your political persuasion, everybody can laugh at a little Weiner joke. I'll be back in a few minutes. Goodbye 100 spam comments. War on drugs, war on the poor. The shadow knows. Be back in a few minutes. Thanks for hanging out. Good having you. Go ahead and leave a comment if you have a question. And we'll be more than happy to answer. But the next topic we're going to have is I took some notes when I went over the budget. And we'll see how it goes. All right? Because there's a couple concerns that I have as a citizen in there that hopefully I can express to you as a citizen or a member of the public at large, and perhaps together we can address this. Because there are little things that eventually add up. I'd like to turn a mountain into a molehill instead of a molehill into a mountain. All right, I'll be back in a few minutes. Going to get a cup of coffee, give my wife a kiss. Currently 20 minutes after 5. Should be back about 25 after. Let's see if I can play something for you. Maybe I can pull up an old video and we'll get that playing. Keep you almost entertained as you're like, so when people come in, they'll be like, what the hell is going on? Do, 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 do. Where are we at here? Screenshot. Yeah. Right. This is actually harder than you think. Where are we? Oh, geez, last year was pretty funny. I did a parody on this stuff. Let's see. There we go.
Good evening, Arizona in America. My name is Michael DeCarlo, and this is thecarlosdanger.com. My blog. It's about 10 minutes after 5 on Sunday, the 28th of October, 2018. Oh, our Lord. Oops, you all taking time out of your day. I've done a little reflection and prayer. If you give me a moment here, I'd like to show you, read to you what has inspired me to create this video. It's Ephesians chapter 6, verse 10. Finally, be strong in the Lord and in his mighty power. Put on the full armor of God so that you can take your stand against the devil's schemes. For our struggle is not against flesh and blood, but against the rulers, against the authorities, against the powers of this dark world, and against the spiritual forces of evil in the heavenly realms. Therefore, put on the full armor of God, so when the day of evil comes, you may be able to stand your ground. And after you have done everything to stand firm then, with the belt of truth buckled around your waist, with the breastplate of righteousness in place, and with your feet fitted with the readiness that comes from the gospel of peace. In addition to all this, take up a shield of faith, with which you can extinguish all the flaming arrows of the evil one. Take the helmet of salvation and the sword of the Spirit, which is the word of God, and pray in the Spirit on all occasions, with all kinds of prayers and requests. With this in my mind, be alert and always keep on praying for all the saints. All right. Today, I got a package through the mail. But I got a package through the mail. And those of you who don't know, a certain company got a huge grant from the Central Intelligence Agency to track what you get delivered to and from your home on Sundays. Sometimes Saturdays and nights too, but Sundays. Postal Service only delivers one thing on Sundays. Right? Anyway, when I got this package, I immediately got suspicious. So, understanding that everything in government is backwards, I put on my fireman's hat. Thank goodness for Halloween, I'll tell you. But I put it on backwards so I could think correctly. And when I got my knife out to open this package, this is what I discovered. First off, let's look at the labeling on the package. Okay? Since it was so small and minute, I decided to explode it for you. And instead of going to the store and getting a dry erase marker, I used stickies to represent it. If you can see up here, it was from Caesar Psyop. It was from Clowns Island, America. I immediately thought to myself, man, that name really sounds suspicious. But he labeled it here, my address. Candidate Michael DiCarlo. At DiCarlosDanger.com. World Headquarters, Sierra Vista, Arizona. Cochise County. Man, that's when I was like, man. The light bulb went off in my head. I thought to myself, what could this be? Jeez. Anywho, when I looked over here at the stamps, none of them were canceled. So it didn't go through the mail anyway, did it? Because the post office would always cancel these stamps. Because we can't have people reusing, what does it cost now? 56 cents or something like that. We can't have people reusing 2 quarters at a time in pennies over and over again to send stuff and communicate to each other. We got to charge them, right? So, and this is where I knew it was really for me. See the bottom down there? That's right. Veterans for Trump. I went to the rally last Friday. That's why I was just like, this is really crazy. Now, I did run into some really nice, peaceful people there. However, they weren't nearly as open-minded as I would think they were. They were a lot of sheeple. A lot of folks that problem, reaction, solution paradigm stuck in their head and they can't get over it. And that's all right. I lived that way for a while, but I was a warrior. And when you're a warrior, there are no problems. There are only solutions.
That's right. The MAGA boom parody right there. We got 26 minutes after the hour of 5 here in Sierra Vista, Arizona. At VFW Post 9972. Steak night tonight. $1,000, you get a steak, get some vegetables, salad, some bread, maybe even a dessert. It's good. Good amount of food for the amount of money that you're spending. That's all I'll say. Special thanks to the folks that threw me over the milestone there on Facebook. Appreciate the likes. You can like, share, subscribe. I'd appreciate it. We've got a whole bunch of views. That's good. Thank you very much. Thank you. Let's see if anybody left a comment on the page there. No comments. Well, that's all right. It's okay, because I'm going to have some steak anyway. Our next topic is the Sierra Vista budget. This is just based upon notes that I took. There was not a big disagreement, but there was ability for people to actually put their discernment hats on, their thinking caps, and say what we're doing with the county as far as the city and the JP, which is the Justice of the Peace number 5 position, and the magistrate position for the city, that we need to do that better. I have an idea how to do that better. We'll talk about that in a little bit. Let's see. As far as the shell game continues there with the service to MPO and the city with the highway user funds, the HERF funds, and financing some stuff in there. But I got to tell you, folks, $90 million for this little town is a lot of money. And in the last city council meeting here last week, was it last week? Yeah, last Thursday, a week ago Thursday, they gave our manager a raise up to $171,000 a year. I guess he deserved it because nobody said no. Which is one of the things that really jumped out at me is it's one of those separation of government, especially federal, state, county, and local, is the database that the police department uses called the Spillman database. That is accessible by Fort Huachuca, a federal entity. Normally, I would think that that wouldn't be too much of a problem. But then I started recalling back when I was the Chief Master at Arms in Groton, Connecticut, when I was supervising between 150 and 300 people. Some of them were discipline problems, we'll say. So I was sort of like an overseer. And other ones were more, they were there for medical issues, and some folks were just getting out or couldn't handle the stress and endurance required or the mental strain required to be a submariner. There's no fault in that. Everybody there was a patriot. They all volunteered at one time to stand up for their country. And I hope that, when I was doing that job, I really had to dig deep and remember that nobody shows up every day to go to work to do a bad job, and everybody has value. So there's a Spillman hosting fee or whatever that the fort pays for. Normally, I wouldn't say this is a bad idea or a bad thing, but when it is the Military Intelligence Center of Excellence for the United States Army, my spidey senses go up a little bit, especially when there's checkpoints to go south of here and checkpoints to go north of here, which lends some credibility to the General Congress lady from New York saying that we live in a prison camp. Well, let me tell you something there, Toots. It ain't just the immigrants. That's a problem with me. I would like to thank the mayor for saying that he can't read the small print, especially when it comes to numbers. I couldn't either, which was pretty damn funny.
Check. Everybody hear me all right?
Yes,
Can you hear me back there?
Here we go.
Welcome to 9972 Steak Fry Night. If you got a sweet tooth, don't forget the auxiliary bake table. Auxiliary bake table. Cakes and pies and all kinds of good things. All right. Be back with you as soon as we get something off the grill here.
There's Mike. All right. One thing that I have come to find out after paying attention to the local city government over the last 2.5 years, and actually a little bit before then, and even the school district prior to this, is it just seems like they're nothing more than steering committees, and that we have these professionals that are hired in to make sure that the steering committee doesn't mess up. What ends up happening, oddly enough, is that the professionals, now you got to remember what the oldest profession is, if you can remember what the oldest profession is. Their job, the professional's job, really is just to make sure that they still have a job tomorrow. Their interest in correcting problems is nowhere near the amount necessary, dedicated to the amount necessary in order to correct it. So their interest is in, it's almost like their interest is in participating in it, but never completing it. It's almost like if you follow bike paths around town, you'll end up being dumped into a major traffic intersection. Hey, babe, what's going on? Come here, talk to me about. Hi, how are you? Come on in. Come on in. Say hi to everybody. Come on.
He's online.
I'm online. I'm live streaming. Come on. Come on, say hi. We're here at 9972 on steak night.
It's safe there.
It's steak night here at 9972. Come on in. Yeah, come on in. Come on in, really. Come on and say hi. Say hi. Say hi. Oh, you can't see yourself there. It's right here. This is the last. You'll get there eventually. That's your last.
Hi, honey.
Hi, babe. How are you?
Aww.
Look at it. Isn't that cute?
Nice
Hi.
to meet you.
Pleasure to meet you too. Pleasure to meet you too. Some people's kids, I tell you, don't understand. Or anyway, what ends up occurring is the staff ranks out the different projects, then they present them to the council. But somehow, the disconnect is in the difference in the commissions that are driving the solutions for the problems. The commissions are supposed to take their mission from the council, and then the council provides it to the staff, and then the staff provides the council with the answers that it ranks out. And since not everything gets picked up every year, it gets ranked out how the staff sees it and not how the council sees it, which is sad. So it's really a disservice to a government of we the people, of by and for the people, which would bring up the need for a charter. Charter is a constitution. The Constitution defines and confines government, because if you cannot define the government, you cannot confine a government. And a government that you cannot confine and you think isn't there ends up being everywhere. And if you look at the plans, a state's required to do, and this we fall under state or general rule because we don't have a charter. There's only 7 issues that we're supposed to do. The government's supposed to perform, but here we have 17, so you have 7 plus 10. And if you do any research on that, you can keep on building and understand that government is a necessary evil. And all we're really debating is how much evil is actually necessary. And without having a charter, the amount of government will just continue to expand into a socialist, bordering on communistic type state. And when you hear things and words coming from the mayor and council members about partnerships and everything, anybody that partners with any government has already lost. So why choose to partner with it to begin with? That's the question. That is the question. And it's almost like...
Okay, first out of the kitchen, a to-go order, number 13, 1313, 13.
Lucky number 13 is the first dinner out. First dinner out here at Post 9972 on steak night. Come on down, get a steak. Support your veterans organizations. If you don't like steak, check out what the American Legion has tonight for dinner. Pretty sure they don't have steak tonight. I want to say... Yeah, I don't know what I want to say it is. Can't remember. Not that big of a deal.
19, ticket number 19 and ticket number 20.
There's a couple things in the city budget that jump out. We have $2.7 million in donations. I'd like to see who's donating. I think those should be listed out on who's donating to see who's buying influence. We ended up with $17 million? Started at 14.8. I think it's gone up to nearly $17 million energy project, which is combined with the parks, which is combined with covering up our ball fields with turf under the auspice of saving water. Now, that's a whole different topic here. If you look at the geography around Sierra Vista and you are aware enough to understand that feces rolls downhill, the majority of our parks are at the lower regions of washes. Washes are rivers or streams that only run when it rains. And the original settlers here had septic tanks, and the town was incorporated in 1958, I believe, or 56, 58, 56 or 58. That puts the septic tanks at about 60 years old, pretty much the lifespan of that. And anybody that has lived and used a septic tank before knows that you have an overflow on it. Usually, at least back east, there's more water, and that overflow runs to another water stream and gets diluted down and ends up being dumped into a large body of water. But the poop and the solid material stays in your tank until enzymes eat it to reduce the size of it.
Ticket number 27, got a question. Come to the kitchen. Ticket number 27.
But here in the desert, that runoff goes off and then it evaporates. Recently,
Okay, 28.
recently we've had a outbreak of hepatitis A, which is people eating their own crap or eating somebody else's crap. I would almost say that every time that there's a big wind and it goes over a wash, and those particles, dust particles, get picked up, they get deposited somewhere. So if you're eating outside with a picnic, you might get crap on your food, and you might be giving yourself hepatitis A. So maybe you want a shot. I don't know. I just don't think the answer in creating an immunity to stuff is to directly inject it into your body. It just doesn't make sense. Why would you want to give yourself a disease in order to cure yourself of it? But that actually plays into the water as well. If you look at the city's currently in litigation over water usage with the Gila River. And our aquifer is we have groundwater. And the San Pedro River at one time would feed into the Gila River, and I imagine the mouth still does, but the water doesn't run because of evaporation and reduced amounts of water that is being put into it. However, what we will see, what you can possibly see in the future, if you give yourself a chance, is the timing of all this. Somewhere in the 90s, somebody approved building the Cove, which is pretty much a government water park, complete with slides and everything. And with all the water that's used there and the water that's used elsewhere in public locations, each of us citizens is accused of using 90 gallons a day. I did the math on mine when this first came about a couple of years ago, and I showed it to Miss Calhoun, one of our council members, and it turned out
Ticket number 14.
The wife and I, with showers, dishwasher, clothes washer, toilets, and ingesting water, use less than 30 gallons a day at home. So that leaves 60 gallons on the table. And 60 gallons on the table, you can say some of it's used for fire department, some of it's used for the police department. But the vast majority falls into that 1 million gallons that's in that damn swimming pool. And it's not even open fully on the weekends. It's closed on Sundays. It has a pump that for a wave machine that is broken. And it's been broken for years, and they've chosen not to fix it because it wasn't cost effective. Or actually not cost effective, it cost too damn much to get it fixed. Which leads me back to Marion County again. Marion County has had a swimming pool since I can remember as a child. And it's always had a wave machine. And it just was replaced as well there in Fairmont. And I don't understand how a county...
16, ticket 16, 16.
I'm having difficulty understanding how a county a third of the size of this one here in Cochise, as far as population, was able to have the foresight and ability to have theirs repaired. But yet, Sierra Vista and Cochise County, on the outskirts of and in the shadows of Fort Huachuca, the military intelligence center of excellence for the United States Army, was unable to budget and have foresight in order to actually fix it themselves. Which, again, seems odd. But, as we discussed here with the nightmare of epic proportions from the county, it isn't that nobody's preparing, it's just there's no accountability. It's proportional, instead of plausible deniability, it's proportional or fractional accountability, an inability to do fractional math so that nothing is whole. It is just a hole that we as taxpayers are throwing money into. But I'm going to go see if we can get some folks out there in the canteen to come back and speak with us here on the live stream here from Post 9972 in Sierra Vista, Arizona. Steak night tonight. Come on down, support your local veterans organization. It is open to the public. Get a chunk of beef, some vegetables, potatoes and gravy, and chunk of bread, a roll, I believe. And I guess we have some stuff that we can buy for dessert as well. So you can support the VFW auxiliary. So for a dozen, $15, you can have a pretty good meal. Decent company, bring your family. There's tables out in the far side there. You
ticket number 17.
Don't have to be by us bad veterans drinking
17.
alcohol or smoking tobacco because we have the liberty to do so, and we refuse to give it up. Come on by, support the veterans of Foreign Wars, Post 9972 here in Sierra Vista, Arizona. And right now I'm going through and I am deleting the spam
18,
posts.
ticket number 18, 18.
You would think that I speak a lot about getting a loan or something, or getting fast money or something, or have need hydrocortisone, which I kind of do for my joints, but I'm not going to take their drugs anymore until I absolutely have to and can't get around. And writing your essay online. That is one thing that does keep popping up with war on drugs, war on the poor post that I have that I made that's a couple years old now. I think maybe I should pull that up and post it on the Facebook and say thanks everybody for the comments. But it is currently now about 12 minutes to the top of the hour. I'm going to take a few moments here, delete one more row of comments, of spam comments, go get another cup of coffee, give the wife a kiss, tell her I love her, and then I'll be back here and live streaming at Post 9972 here in Sierra Vista, Arizona on Veterans Drive, Post 9972, VFW Post 9972 in Sierra Vista. Tonight is steak night. Come on down, get some good food, spend some time with some good folks for a good cause. Michael DiCarlo's Danger. We'll be back in a few moments. Take care. Be right back. See if I can do what I did before. And actually, I should be able to pull that up and keep on playing it. Yeah.
Sometimes a man's got to do what a man's got to do to feed his family. So that's what I did. But, so, what I did was I put on a helmet because it was immediately suspicious. And I opened the box. And I know what you're asking. What's in the box? So let us look what is in the box. And maybe it could portend to what is actually going on in society. The first thing that I got out of the box was when I opened it, it came from Spazazon.com crime. Spazazon crime is what delivered today. I'm going to fill you in on that. The first thing I wanted that I got out of the box, which was pretty cool, I thought, was a scientific calculator, which immediately made me think, gotta do the math. We did the math on the stamps, right? Post office would go broke if we couldn't cancel all those stamps. People just reused them. Oh wait, they already are broke. It's not an efficient way to deliver messages. The next thing that I got out of the box was a metal case of wild turkey. And this was the real joke. Because when I opened it up, I was thinking, oh yeah, get some whiskey. Nope. What I got was a bunch of permanent markers and no dry erase points and highlighters. To say I was ultimately disappointed, I was. Hence the whiteboard creation. So if anybody wants to send me some dry erase markers, that'd be cool. You'll save me a trip to the store. The next thing I got out of the box, was a drain the swamp sign. A drain the swamp sign from Clowns Island, America. Jeez. Things that make you think, right? Make you think. Let's see here. Oh. That's right. That is right. My goodness. I forgot to tell you the thing that I should have reported, but I didn't. I got a bomb. The bomb. I got the bomb in the box. Got the bomb in the box. But here's the cool thing, man. This is the coolest of the cool. Let's see, where's it at? Where's it at? Where's it at? This is what. I'm sorry, I repacked this after I opened it up. I should have done this live. Where did it go? My goodness. My goodness. Oh, door. Oh, dear. Oh, geez. That's right. This is the cool stuff here. This is what I really thought was going to happen. You know, and I don't want to belittle anybody in Pittsburgh. I really am. But when I opened it up the first time, I got this out of there. There's a white powdery substance. I don't know if you can see it. Oh, there it is. The white powdery substance out of there. That's what I really thought was going on. So don't put that by anybody, okay? Because we're probably going to deal with white powdery substances here in a little bit. So we've already...
Phyllis, where are you?
Shootings.
Phyllis?
It's either church shootings or school shootings.
Okay, I got you.
I anticipate that the white powdery substance may be next, so be prepared for that. And the cool thing is, they even have a soft side in the joke. They gave me white powdery donuts.
21, ticket number 21, 2121.
I like powdered sugar donuts. Everybody likes the powdered sugar donuts. I don't know. But when I saw the powdered sugar donuts, I immediately went to get some tape. To do what? To do some forensic.
All right, good people. We've been here broadcasting here for over an hour. I appreciate y'all that stopped by and checked us out. Here on Post 9972 in Sierra Vista, Arizona. We're broadcasting for an hour and 15 minutes. Talking about politics, talking about local stuff. And it's provided me an opportunity to delete the spam off of my blog, which is great. Because there's nothing that says you're over the target.
Ticket number 23, ticket 22.
Then when you get a bunch of spam on your blog. the Central Import Agency is really good at doing that type of stuff, especially shadow banning and keeping stuff quiet so that folks are unable to hear the truth, and they're keep getting directed to the television because it's all about controlling the mind, which is what government means in Latin. I want to say hello to my mom. She lost her neighbor this weekend. Friend of mine, dear friend of mine that I grew up with. I remember him living there when I was a child. Well, in high school, him and his brother lived there first, and then Jerry lived there afterwards. But Jerry Fryer, you're missed. I know you're in heaven. You always were an angel. You're always a good guy. You're always kind to me. And always kind to my family. And I thank you and your family for bringing up such a upstanding person and a good member of the community. Just know you'll be missed. You'll be missed. Missed by me, missed by my mom, and even missed by my aunt who liked to yell at you a lot. But life goes on, my man. But you'll be missed. You will. Prayers and everything out to Rich, his brother, Brandon, his son, or his nephew, and the rest of the Fryer family.
The gentleman that needed his steak done a little bit more, ready.
Come on down. Oh, wait, I actually got a good comment. That's one of the things you got to do when you go to, when I actually have to do when I go to here is make sure I don't.
Ticket number 24, 24, 24, and 25, 25.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Michael DeCarlo for DeCarlosDanger.com. And if we don't have any more questions here on Facebook posted, which it doesn't appear that we do, nor over here on the YouTube control room, we'll check that out. Nope, nothing there. I'd like to thank you guys for stopping by, checking it out. And remember, VFW Post 9972 Steak Night here in Sierra Vista, Arizona, down here on the international border. Great place to eat, great place to live. But there's just a lot of tyrants. You got to pay attention to that. Be well, take care, and remember that no matter your political persuasion, everybody can laugh at a little wiener joke here at DeCarlosDanger.com. Save the VA, people. Save the VA. Be good. Be well. Michael DeCarlo signing off. Going to take care of the rest of these blog posts. Y'all be well and take care. Much love. Out.